Vinyl community, Steve here, FlipSideCT, and welcome back to you to my channel. Last video, I showed Walter Lure and the Waldos. Actually, I did a little insight to Walter, who is his new album is the guitarist for Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers, and some true punk look into his life and what he evolved with and the changes he had. If you have any interest in that type of genre and topic, check it out. Hopefully could pick up on a few things. And I'm trying to get a video in ASAP. Plus I got a second one I'm working on, which I'll mention later on. I'm going out to Houston for work next week, the whole entire week, and it's with my business that I work with full time, and I'll be in the northern part of Houston. I don't know how many miles away it is, but I will get to some I will do some videos at some record stores, at least 1, 2, 3. I don't know, half price books, whatever. If I get the time, I don't get out late. I'm going to do that, of course. And I did mention I will talk about it in another video I'm going to shoot after this. So back in June, I went to a record show in Trumbull, Connecticut. Trumbull is about 60 miles from Manhattan, Fairfield County, lower part of Connecticut. Before New Haven, if you're traveling from New York City. Anyway, the show was in a church. First time it was done here by the same promoter who does the other shows that I go to a lot. And this turnout was good. Different rooms, you walk in from the back side and you got, some albums there. You walk up some stairs, you got another room with maybe about 8 vendors, and then you go into the actual sanctuary where the pews are, and you got 2 more vendors there. So it was pretty interesting, pretty weird to be in there, but hey, once you start flipping and digging, everything just shuts down around you and you're focused. So I picked up just a few. I wanted to mention, never mind. Johnny Lee Hooker, Hooked on Blues, 79. I can't find his album. I put it somewhere, and I can't find it right now. But this one I picked up there. Not too much money, and just a cool one to have for me, some Johnny Lee. The next one, I don't know, Dustin in LA had somebody in the VC talk about David Allan Coe. Basically, he's outlaw country, and don't know too much about him. I know he's got some ruckus past, but I wanted to get this album. This is 1975, Once Upon a Rhyme, his 4th album. And enjoy it. This next album is one that I've been having. I don't see it. When I saw it up on the wall of a friend of mine's, I had to grab it, and was really psyched to get this. I didn't pay the money on here. I think I paid maybe $24, but this is Free's first album, first pressing, and great shape, of course. And things to point out here: Steve Miller plays piano. He was all over the place in that time period. And Andy Johns. Got to remember and know Andy Johns, that engineer, did the Stones, so many other artists. Guy Stevens. Don't know who Guy Stevens is? Look him up. Great producer. And they worked on this. These guys were under 20 years old when they made this, and they were touring up and down the coasts of UK, and they were playing their originals, sort of like what Zeppelin was doing with Zepp 1, and they got real polished and real tight and put out an album, and this was it. In fact, the bass player, Fraser, was 16 years old. He played with John Mayall prior, so I don't have to tell you Paul Rodgers, Kossoff, and Simon Kirke also on here. Just an album that has to be in your collection, you know, for historic and beautiful sounding with Paul Rodgers also. And it's a bluesy album, and it's a fabulous debut that they put out here. And again, a must-have for the collector. When I can and I find something on Rye that I don't have, I pick it up. Most of you know Rye Cooter. Those of you that don't, look them up. This album, if you like the band, you're going to like this. Got that same feel, that same uniqueness that, you know, he's a blues jammer, and he's just phenomenal and wonderful to listen to. Slide. Yeah, say no more. Just rawness good for this album, and it really hits that country blues nerve. When I was there, I saw an album by Dion and the Belmonts, a 1960 album, and it was Wish Upon a Star from 1960. He wanted $20, a little scuffed up. I said, no, give me the $5 Dion and the Belmonts, the comp. This is from 2005. Just $5. You know, hey, those of you that don't know Dion, you know, Run Around Sue and The Wanderer, you know, those hits. But then again, the other ones are really great. Dion really did some really great music as he progressed. I'm looking for one of these singles. I don't remember the name. I got to do some more research. One day I could turn you on to this, or you could turn me more into it. Okay, so I talk a lot about the 1990s, and not a lot, but I talk about, when I comment, I should say, I don't have much knowledge of the 90s. I zoned out. I didn't partake. I was just not digging the sounds. Few good ones there that I liked. Some earlier ones, but just didn't kick in with the grunge or anything like that. It's just me. I'm sorry if you're scratching your head saying, what? I just could, you know, I was listening to 70s rock and roll. So, hey, what am I going to say? But I was proved wrong. As time went on, as these past years, I got challenging, wanting to be challenged and listen to something that, hey, I gotta like something here. And one of the bands is Sway. And this is from 1994, Dogman Star. I'm not going to be telling you something you don't know here to most of you. I would think maybe 75% of you know Sway. Maybe not. Maybe less. But it's new to me. You know, I knew about them for a couple of years. I just never bought it because they're hard to find, but they're now reissued. So it's great to have these, and I know there's several of them to get. This definitely is one of them. So I was blown away when I put the headphones on and listened to this for the first time. It just got better and better and better and better. They call it Britpop. I know people have been talking about Britpop recently, and I still can't define it. But anyway, glam rock, art rock. Echo and the Bunnymen, David Bowie, Psychedelic Furs. My goodness, you put that together, it's just kick ass. It's just wonderful. Some people just put this band down because he sounds like Bowie. You gotta be fucking kidding me. If I had David Bowie's voice, I would not, well, maybe I hopefully would be sitting here. I should say I would not be doing what I do full time. I'll tell you that. I would do whatever I can to let people hear me. So screw some of those people who are the haters of Suede and just, making that cringe face. Suede is kick-ass. It's great music. It's wonderful music at the next level. It's brilliant. It's astonishing. The guitars are ass-kicking. Lyrics. Some wonderful ballads in here. Some of them are sort of like even Broadway. I don't like Broadway, but it's in a good sense like Broadway. Most songs are unique. They're not repetitive in sounding. The guitars are just... I just don't know how they remember what they do if they play this live. But I know there's a lot of history that goes on with this band. I know people came, they went, they left, they got angry, got pissed off. I wanted to go this direction, you wanted to go the direction. There's a lot of drama in this band. I know the guitarist left after this or during this. I don't have all that information. Just get this. It's just big and wonderful sounding. The voice is very like a concert hall sounding, very open. So I wanted to mention something. I'm going to go off on a tangent a little bit here. Just talking about, I forgot what I paid for this. It wasn't, $26. But anyway, people try to justify their buying of a record, and there's many levels of things, because of scarcity and what the records, new ones average $20, $25, $30. It's a lot of money, yeah. But the way I look at it is, the more you listen to an album, the more value and the more justifiable your price becomes. So if I pay $30 for a record, I listen to it 10 times. Those 10 listens are $3 each. Now that's not bad for enjoyment. You think about the amusement park rides, the ones where you pay one price, and suppose you go on a busy hot day, you get on 10 rides, say it cost you, $50, so $5 a ride. That's not bad. I think that's a good balance. So the more rides you can get on, the cheaper it becomes, and the more listens you listen, the cheaper and more justifiable it is to get a record, And I'm not forcing myself to listen because of that. I'm doing it because I enjoy the records I buy. But I just think that helps with somebody who's having a problem and justifying, oh God, that costs so much money. You listen to it many times, you're to get your money's worth for sure. That's my philosophy. This last one is a Texas guitar from Dallas to LA, 70s monocomp of 50s and 60s songs. So you have Guitar Slim, Lawyer Houston, which I didn't know who he was, just a really, really good guitarist. And so these are like 45s that are hard to find, and they put a comp together and created this. And I got this from my buddy Paul from Long Island. Anyway, so I'm going to try to squeeze in another album that I bought at the show, but I'm going to make another video because it's a album I would think a lot of people own but don't listen to. Many reasons why they don't listen to is, could be many factors. I think one of it is because the lack of respect, and people just don't make it and make it shine. I know I'm teasing you here. I think that's the purpose. For you to check out my insight, whatever you want to call it, review of this album that came out in 1974. And I'm going to go into some of the cuts and talk about the cuts and the whole album and some history about it and give you a good feel, because I want to suck you into it and really have you pull it out of your collection and listen to it again with headphones and appreciate it. Or if you don't have it, say, I'm going to check this out. So one of my favorites, and I'm going to leave it at that. VC, thank you. Hope all is going well for you. Tough times, but if we listen to music, you know, we get some enjoyment. Take care. Remember to listen continuously. Bye-bye.